Turns out I was muted while I did what I assure you was an incredible introduction.
Has like 50 things to the swear jar.
Yeah, well, but it was muted. So technically, you guys couldn't hear it. We talked about this, I think yesterday. We talked about doing a swear jar. I don't remember if this was on stream. So we joked yesterday. We had some guests in here who were checking the game out with us and taking a look at it. And we had we mentioned that we have a problem with miking people up for general streams, where it's like, you know, we're an official stream, so we have to be at least a little bit professional in how we use our language. And so how do we police ourselves to make sure that we we don't get too salty on stream? And the thing that we came up with was a swear jar. And we'll probably expand it a little bit beyond swears. So basically a you said something stupid jar. And we'll put a quarter in it every time someone on stream says something that they shouldn't have, and then every time that jar hits $20, we'll buy someone a copy at minimum who's on the stream at the time. So I think that's the thing we're gonna start doing with the Grab and Shane after our stream, and I think there'll be a lot of money added to the pot from that. So that should be a pretty good way for you guys to get a hold of this game. So anyway, back to what we actually want to do in this stream. I know we said we would do it last week. I think we also said we would do it on Wednesday. We didn't get a chance to it, but we're going to show you a sneak preview of the new polished up, arted up version of Disaster Zone. Now this still isn't quite finished, right? We've still got a lot more stuff we want to do to continue to improve it, but this is just to give you an idea of the progress that we've made since we put out the preview version to you guys with update 1. And so this is a little bit more like what it's going to look like when the final version comes out in update 2. You can see that we've added a ton more detail to it. We're getting some of the broken rubble and destruction that we want to get you, so you can see why the city is called Disaster Zone, because it's a city that's under siege, in conflict, being destroyed. We've got a lot of new skybox elements. You can actually see the besieged city behind it. We've got new particles and atmospherics, so you see smoke in the distance, you see some fog here and there. We're also working on some new, I guess you could call it, I guess it's ash? Like, what are those things going to be that are falling from the sky?
Yeah, it's ash.
It's ash,
it's
right?
just
Yeah.
ash.
So it's basically going to be like minimum style ash. So they're kind of like polygons of ash that are falling from the sky. They look pretty cool. They're not in this version yet, but that's yet another thing we'll be adding to the polish of it. So you can start to see the direction that we're trying to go with this map as we continue to polish it up. So still lots to do. This was sort of the big sort of bulk pass to get the bulk of the changes in there. And we're going to start doing detail passes. I think we started doing detail passes today.
Yeah, we got a little rubble.
Yeah, we got a little bit of rubble in there, but we're going to get a ton more of that stuff coming up. This also isn't the final lighting yet. You guys can probably see up in the corner we've got that lighting needs to be rebuilt message. So we've got more lighting and more changes like that coming. Actually, I think you can see some ash. So there's some of the ash right there. I guess we've got some in this part of the map. I don't know if you guys can actually, I don't know if the stream's high res enough for you guys to see it. But you can occasionally see little bits of polygonal ash dropping from the sky. Okay, I'm going to go over here real quick and see if we've had any questions from the, are we quiet again? Turn it up some more. All right, turned it up some more. We'll keep trying to tweak our mics and get the volume closer as we go through this. This is the second stream we're doing with our new dual mic stereo mic setup. So Shane's mic'd as well as me. So it's not, I don't have to spend all of my time talking. We can also have someone else talk. So I'll answer some quick questions from chat, and then I'll go into some of the changes that came out in the build we just put out for Friday. So let's see. First, a question: where's Human Head Studios based? We're in Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is it's the capital of Wisconsin, and it's also the home of the University of Wisconsin. The Badgers, if anyone follows Big Ten football, that kind of thing, you'd be familiar with that college. It's a sort of a typical-ish college town. It's 300,000 people or so. It's not a big city, but also not a small city. A lot of the stuff that comes along with being a college town, a lot of diversity and cool culture, and it's honestly it's a pretty beautiful place to be in the summer. It sits right in between two lakes on an isthmus between these two big lakes. It's really pretty. If you guys are in the area, you should come out and visit. See some more of the destruction up here that we're going for. This is part of us figuring out what things that are destroyed look like in minimum. You can see the way things are broken, but they still maintain sort of that minimalistic, blocky vibe to them, which is something we kind of piloted a little bit on the Titan Factory map with the where the quad Titan spawns. You can see kind of how that's broken up and how that Titan spawner destroyed things around it. And so we're continuing to explore that and expand upon that idea as we go through this. Let's see. Why is the city called Disaster Zone? It's called Disaster Zone. I think I covered that pretty well. It's called Disaster Zone because this is what it will ultimately look like: is a sort of a war-torn block person city. So that's why I got the Disaster Zone. This is the angle that Shane was looking at there. Now he's got to focus on killing Jeff. But the angle that he was looking at, you can see some of the cool smoke and fog that you get when you look up into the distance. You can see as you look out toward the rest of the city. This is a pretty cool vista right here. You can see more. That's where the monorail track was originally. You can see where that broke off and some of the sparks and things like that we're adding. If he heads over toward the base, you can actually see some of the new messaging that we're doing for the power cells for the Titan. So this right here is the new ancient styled power cell. So you can see it's got those crystal power sources inside of it, and that's the target the Titan ultimately blows up, and that's what draws the power and powers the Titan, powers the turrets, all that kind of thing. So we're trying to get some clearer understandings of how things look when they're how the core gameplay elements look, and how we can make it more understandable for players, while also making sure that they fit thematically, with the style of the game. The red side on this map, which is the modern side, has a slightly different look to it. So hopefully once this match ends and rotates, we'll get a better look. You can kind of see in the distance there. You can see this is another aspect that we're going to be working on. You can see kind of in the upper middle of the screen, there's this chain of lightning that's moving on. So that's unfinished. But ultimately, that's going to connect the Titan power source to the turrets and to the thing that's spawning and creating the Titans. So you can see we're also trying to get some of the team color stuff working now. So this is red because it's enemy. So we're trying to make it clearer what end of the map you're on and communicate where you're at. But you can see, even though it's a more modern looking thing, it's using the same sorts of crystal power source as the ancient side is. So that's sort of a consistent design language and messaging we want to start expanding to the other maps, for the reasoning for why you're here. You guys might also notice that the spawn containers are not where you expected them to be. In this map, we're going to be making some pretty significant changes to the way we handle the safe spawn areas for Disaster Zone, and this is going to be, our first pass, or I guess you say our second pass on how we handle safe spawns and moving those things around and trying to resolve some of the ducking in and out of them problems and the last defense of the Titan problems that they've created. Ultimately, we want the safe spawns to be, to counteract spawn camping, to make sure that that's not a thing, but also to act as a fallback point for your team. So if you guys have played League of Legends and Dota, the fountain acts as a sort of a last dish defense mechanism. You can return to the fountain and you can get some healing, and so it makes it a little more difficult to make that final push into the enemy base. But it doesn't make it impossible. You're not invulnerable on the fountain. You can't just stand on the fountain and defend your base, right? You've got to move to the fountain, get a little heal, duck back out of the fountain. It's a much more dynamic way of handling that stuff. And so that's where we ultimately want to get with the safe spawn areas. And so we're going to continue to expand on those and adjust those and investigate those on Disaster Zone and on all of our upcoming maps until we really get in the area of how we want these things to behave. Let's see here. Let's look through some of these questions again. I want to come visit and show them some neat minimum loot. Do you have minimum loot that we don't have? If you want to come out to Madison, by all means come by. You will see what we could do, set you up with a tour or something like that. Just let us know. Let's see here. Tenko says, I see that the weapons level as Titans progress. Yep, that's a new thing that just came out in today's Friday patch. So this is something we talked about a few times in the past. We want to try to we want to keep the idea of playing really well and getting a little bit fat, kind of like what you get in MOBA games. And so having a little bit of that positive reinforcement snowball, but we don't want it to be so powerful that it completely, that it makes people overwhelming, which is the situation that we have right now. So the leveling as the Titans progress is to eventually compress that power differential. So early in the game, if you're very strong and you're very good, you can quickly go from level 1 to level 5, and you've got a pretty significant advantage over people who are stuck at level 1. But as the game progresses, you're going to get, everyone's default level will get higher, and will eventually compress that gap so that it's not such a dominating difference in the end. So that's the goal for that, and it's been pretty well received so far. We like it in testing. It doesn't go all the way to 5. It caps out at level 3, so that there's always some, there's always some additional room to climb and some room to to get more levels by getting kills. We don't want that to go away. We just want to make it so that it's not quite so not quite such an overwhelming gap.
Yeah, it works a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I was kind of hesitant that it would not work as well, but yeah, it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, we had plenty of skeptics even on the dev team that would be a solid change, but I think everyone became a believer once we actually got it in and saw how it behaves. Beyond that, we're going to continue to take a look at the differential between level 5s and level 1s and make sure that, again, we want to make sure that you feel strong when you have a level 5 weapon, but we don't want it to be so overwhelming that, level 5 people are simply deciding the game, in the first Titan push. Let's see here. More questions here. Are you ever going to make it more colorful? Depends on what you're asking. If you're asking, are we going to make Disaster Zone more comfortable, more colorful? Absolutely. So in addition to the detail pass that started today, we're also starting the color pass. So we had, this map has not had any color pass done to it other than the team power cell things that we showed off a little earlier that had the red and the blue on them. Nothing in here has had a color pass done on it. So once we go through and do that, you're going to see things that look a lot more like Titan Factory and Desert, where it's a lot more colorful and more spots of specifically chosen color. So yes, that'll be the next pass on Disaster Zone. Maybe we'll even show that off to you guys on next week's stream, maybe on Friday. Again, we can show off the another round of polish and iteration on this map, and you'll see some of the color pass and some of the new atmospherics and some of the more the detail work that we're putting in. Let's see here. Are turrets still overpowered?
I think turrets suck now.
In respect to what? They were. Are they still overpowered for what minimum was way back in the day when Timecape was doing it? No, we've nerfed them significantly since that time.
They're crap now. Really. they're not very good anymore.
Yeah, if you're saying are they still overpowered from yesterday? I don't really think they're overpowered anymore. I think they might even be a little bit underpowered compared to the napalm grenade in particular. But we're gonna keep an eye on them. The biggest problem they had, early in our time with minimum was that they could attack Titans, and so because they could do Titan damage, turrets were essentially the only device that you could choose. If you didn't choose a turret, you're putting your team at a serious disadvantage because of the huge loss in Titan DPS. So once we took that away and took away their ability to shoot creeps, they became a lot more sort of normalized. And once we added once we gave them the ability to drop weapon power up, now there was a significant risk to putting a turret down. They weren't just something you just kind of fired and forget toward the enemy team. So things are a lot more, a lot more balanced with turrets, I think, than they were before. Let's see here. Yep, we're an Unreal Engine game. There's some pretty significant changes. It uses a third-party lighting engine called Enlighten. It's the same one or a similar one to the one that's used in the Frostbite 2 engine for Battlefield and some other big name AAA games. So that's part of the reason why the big shadows and stuff look pretty cool, which you'll see a lot more of in this map as we improve the lighting. Hopefully we want this to be a little bit better showcase of the lighting capabilities of the map than Desert and Titan Factory are. Let's see here. Will Team Deathmatch also implement this weapon leveling system with phases? No. So Team Deathmatch will essentially work the way minimum worked prior to this change to Titan mode. So in Team Deathmatch, you'll just level from 1 to 5. There are a few changes for Team Deathmatch. Right now we have it so that the purple shards. So you have the two crafting components that you need for armor. There's the fragments, which are dropped by killing players and stuff like they kill in turrets. And then there's the shards, which in Titan mode only drop from creeps. So in deathmatch, the shards are more like an old school power up placed in the map. So the shards are placed in strategic positions all around the map. They respawn periodically, so you can run around and collect the shard portion by moving around the map. Again, kind of an old school Quake or someone get Grave in here. An old school Quake or Unreal Tournament sort of vibe to them. Kind of like picking up the adrenaline pills in Unreal Tournament or that kind of thing. Let's see here. Can we buy hats for our Titans? Like go to the Crystal Base, make a Berserker Titan? We've actually talked a few times about the ability to buy different armor, or not necessarily armor, but the ability to create upgrades for your Titan. I don't know if we'll necessarily implement it in such a direct way, like by like literally buying a hat or buying a torso piece or buying boots for them. But we have talked a lot about shifting the way the crystal collection for Titans works. So right now you collect crystals for your Titans, and a number goes up. Your Titan gets sort of generally more powerful, but it's not super clear to you in what ways your Titan is better. We've been talking a lot about wanting to do taking the Titan numbers and essentially mapping them to different systems on the Titan. So once you get 5 crystals, your Titan gets a new sort of chest armor plating that will appear, and then you get to 10 Titan crystals, and your Titan gets some sort of, what did the Titan do there? Did you see
Nautilus swim?
It had like Nautilus swam or like Superman into the red one. I've never seen.
It's a new attack, man.
It's a new attack. So we're gonna call that a feature. That's a brand new Titan screw missile attack. That's coming out. It's not. That was a bug. We'll have to take a look at that and see what was going on. But as I was saying, adding more visual representation and more specific things that get added and subtracted as your Titan powers up and takes damage, to make the fight feel more epic and to make it much clearer to players, where their Titan stacks up versus the enemy's Titan, as opposed to a number which, unless you have a lot of experience with the game, it's not really clear. What does it mean to have 30 more Titan score than the other guys? Is that a lot? Is that a little? If you're a new player, you don't really have a good frame of reference, where if you can clearly see that your Titan, their Titan has a big shield around its head and yours doesn't, you immediately implicitly understand that their Titan has some capabilities beyond what yours does. Let's see here. Any ports I can forward for minimum? I don't have a list off the top of my head. We could definitely put a post in the forum of the ports that we use for minimum, and what stuff you can forward. Honestly, the latency problems that people are having right now are usually much more related to where your server is located. So we have a small but active community right now, and since it is small, the servers tend to bounce around. We have servers we have a couple in Australia, we have a couple in the United States, we have a couple in Europe. But the matchmaker always prefers to put you in a server with more players on it as opposed to a server with lower ping. So it's not uncommon to end up, to be in Europe and end up in a server that's in, somewhere in America, because that's where most of the players were. And vice versa, sometimes you're in America, you'll end up in a server in Oceania or a server in Europe because that's where the players currently are. We're doing our best to mitigate that and to try to add some better communication to the screen so that it's easier to understand when that's happened and therefore understand where the latency is coming from. The latency report in minimum is not accurate, so if it says 20 milliseconds, you probably don't actually have 20 milliseconds. We're working on fixing that, but probably not until our update 2. So I'm going to back up real quick for anyone just joining us to note that we are showing you a updated version of the Disaster Zone map that's currently out there on live. Or this map is not out there on live. There's a blockout version of this map that's on live. And this is a newly updated, newly arted version of this, showing you guys the progress that we're making toward the final version of this, which will come out in our June update. Our second big content drop for the game. This should make it a lot clearer why we refer to this map as Disaster Zone. We're trying to go for a block person city that's under siege as part of the fight between the modern and the ancient sides. You see we've got a lot more sort of smoky atmospherics in here. It's a little bit darker lighting quality overall with some nice contrasting shadows and things like that. You've got a cool city skyline, block city skyline back there with, that's under attack with smoke and things like that, the skybox. New treatments for how the Titan power cells look and how the team colors and things like that work on them. So a lot of new stuff coming in this map, and this is just, I'd say we're about halfway through the art update on this map. We've got a bunch of additional atmospherics and lighting that are going into this, and we've got a ton of new color. We got a whole color pass yet to do for this.
I think everything is using just the concrete material now. So there's just slapped concrete.
Yeah, it's literally the same material and everything right now. So there's no differentiation in tone or color or material and that kind of thing. So we're gonna start bringing that in this week. Or this weekend. This week's basically over. We started bringing that in this week, and we'll bring in more of it next week. So probably in next week's stream we'll have a cool, you guys will be able to see yet another iteration of how much cooler this thing is getting as we approach the release. Yeah. Sorry, I was getting a message from my art director over there. So one of the things we're going to be doing here over this weekend, so we were doing a double experience points weekend, which a lot of you guys have probably already seen posted on our Steam forum and on our Steam announcement. So all weekend while you play, you'll get double the experience points that you normally would. That'll run through Monday. And as part of that, we've done a Facebook post, and we're gonna tweet on Twitter about the double XP weekend. And if you guys share that or retweet that for us, everyone who does that is going to be entered in a contest to win a free copy of Minimum. So that contest will run all the way from starting now, basically all the way through when the double XP weekend ends on Monday. So please retweet that, please share that on Facebook, and try to get the word out and help us. Minimum's a great game. We want to show it to people. We know they'll have a great time on it if they get a chance to play it. And so help us spread the word, and we'll help you guys out with a free copy. If you already own the game, you can gift it to a friend on Steam. Whatever you want to do with it. If you don't own it, you can use it yourself. And we look forward to seeing you on there. So please check our Facebook, like us on Facebook, and then share that post for us. Follow us on Twitter, and retweet that for us. You can find links to our Facebook and our Twitter just on our Twitch page just below this video. So you go back to a few questions here. Let's see here. Will there still be weapon upgrades in the future? Like your favorite weapons gaining XP and upgrades the more you use them. So we have a weapon modification system that's coming, where you'll be able to craft and add different mods to your weapons. And in terms of how you unlock the modification slots, we'll probably end up using the weapon experience point system for that. So as you put experience points into a weapon, you'll be able to unlock additional slots to put your modifications in, and you can craft modifications and put them in there, and customize the weapon to behave, more like you want it. If you want a little more damage on your shotgun, you could do that. If you want it to be a little more accurate, you could do that. Eventually they'll get wackier. We might add things like critical hit rate and stuff like that through modifications. So we want that to be a way for you guys to customize and take your favorite weapons and make them more your own. And we'll end up using the weapon experience point system for that as sort of another portion of that, most likely. What's up, dude? Great, get in the game, man.
Yeah, I don't have it on my system. I don't have the test branch.
Oh, you have access to test branch?
Not yet.
Yes, he does. I set it up
No,
for him.
yeah, but I don't have the time to download it.
It's too bad, man.
So this is Grabe from the Grabe and Shane After Hour
good too.
show. You guys should all ridicule Grabe because he was not ready. We're doing this test on a...
I was playing y'all this morning. Y'all was kicking my butt.
We're doing this on a test server internally, so he had to make some changes to his Steam client to have access to it, and he didn't do it in time, so it's going to take him like 45 minutes to download probably.
Oh, that looks good though.
Yeah, looks really good.
So he's seeing this for the
good.
same time, just like you guys are. He hasn't seen this map yet. So you get
Go
to see...
Go to right.
You get to see Shane's reaction to the new, the most recent version of Disaster Zone.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty, right?
Yeah, the colors look real good. Watch yourself.
Well, that's lighting color. We haven't even done like the actual
Yeah.
texture color pass. That's
It's
all
all concrete.
That's just one texture on it.
Yeah.
So any color variation you're seeing
Watch
is
it,
from atmospherics and lighting.
Get him, man. This is
got
what you get
armor.
for not wearing armor.
No, it's
This
because
is
you're
what you
yelling
know.
in my
This is what-
ear.
this is what you get
Because
for
you're
not
yelling
wearing
in my ear. Because you're yelling at me. And he's got healing katanas. Look at that.
And if you look at that, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed with the oh no, you're not using it. I thought you were using the retro bullet. hell.
Pick up.
Watch your back.
Pick
No,
up.
he's using the pickup hell. That's
He's
the,
using the.
well, that's
Jeff-
why you're not killing him. You're
Jeff
using
is
the pickup hell to
yeah,
try to kill him.
Yeah.
So Shane was using the pickup hell variant
know
of
these-
the bullet hell,
I don't know these
which,
loadouts, man.
Stop.
which adds
No, you pick
a
the
much
pickup
higher
variant.
chance to.
I'm gonna jump in on
Inferno.
Jake's system.
All right, do it.
You
Yeah.
can jump in on mine.
Or yeah, use Shane's. The pickup hell increases the rate at which creeps and enemies drop power ups and materials. So it's super powerful. It's a super powerful support weapon to have in your team. Very important. But it does like no damage to players. So you saw him fighting Jeff
Yeah.
forever there. So between
It's
Jeff's
really
healing
weak.
katana and the fact that the pickup hell does such low damage, Shane had basically no chance to kill him there. Excuse me. Let's see here. Do you feel like you have a bunch more room for amazing visual effects due to the minimalistic art style? I think so. Yeah, we got plenty. So part of the stylistic direction for the game was, so minimum. There's a reason why it's kind of blocky, and the explosions that you see are, they're essentially pure energy, and so the explosions look not necessarily realistic, but a lot more higher fidelity than the rest of the world does. And I think that between the cool kind of like lo-fi sci-fi effect that we we have.
I have an Xbox.
There's a controller at his desk,
Oh,
dude.
okay. Just put it in the USB port, man. It does.
So yeah, between our cool look and the fact that we can kind of go nuts with the particle effects, I think we've got a lot of room to make some pretty awesome particles for the new weapons going forward. So we haven't hit the ceiling there yet, and we're gonna keep making tweaks even to the particle effects that are already out there. Like the shotguns need a lot of work to bring them up and be as cool as the other ones. Let's see here. Will there be enemy creeps, i.e. AIs that try to kill you? Probably, yeah. We've been talking a lot about we want to add additional objectives to the Titan mode map. So besides, you've got the golden creep, which is sort of the main chase me objective that we have. But we'd like to take a look at other kinds of objectives in there, and periodically spawning dangerous creeps are something we've talked a lot about, where a larger creep that could actually attack and do damage to players might spawn periodically, and killing that would give it a team-wide buff or a buff to the player who got the kill on it and things like that. Kind of like how the red buff and blue buff works in League of Legends and things like that. So I think we'll probably have that eventually. No specific timeline on when we'll do it, but yeah, most likely. Let's see here. What have you added to this build, and do you actually work for Atari? No, we don't work for Atari, or not directly anyway. We're Human Head is an independent video game studio. We're not owned by any publisher or beholden to any specific publisher. Atari is the one who rescued the minimum IP from bankruptcy court after TimeGate, unfortunately went bankrupt. And so after they picked up the game, they came to us to finish the game and to make some changes to it to get it ready for release on Steam Early Access. So we work. They ultimately control the minimum property, but Human Head is independent. We don't work directly for Atari, and in particular on the minimum project, Atari has given us immense freedom to kind of do what we want. That's part of the reason why we can talk to you guys on these streams, why we can talk to you guys so often and so directly and so frankly on the forums, is that they'll let they're very hands off. They're very much letting us make minimum the game we want it to be and interact with the minimum community in the way that we want to interact with it. So they've been great about that. Let's see here. Dungeon crawl will involve creeps and bosses that attack the player. So as we've said a few times before, dungeon crawl mode is something that it's more of a general placeholder for us right now. Sort of a catch-all for our various co-op versus AI modes that we want to put out. So I can't tell you too much about specifically what dungeon crawl mode will look like, but the idea is that you'll have AI controlled stuff to fight against that you can play with your friends to do. One of the ones we've talked about before on streams is sort of a Titan escort mode where you're escorting your Titan through a dangerous underground temple or a dangerous canyon road sort of a thing, and along the way it's being attacked and ambushed by by ambient AI NPC type creatures or enemy controlled block people, and you've got to escort it and protect it, open doors for it, things like that to get it through to the end. So that's the one we've talked about before, but what that mode will look like when we're finished with it, is pretty open-ended and could end up changing a lot from what we think it'll be right now. Is it possible to switch team? Yeah, so that actually just came out in today's build. We now have auto balance working, so in between rounds, teams will rebalance based on both numerically in terms of which team has more people, and also with some skill balancing. So it takes into account the level of the players on each team as well as their score, what their score has been in other matches on that server. So in between matches, the game will rebalance and we'll try to shuffle teams so that they're more evenly matched. And in addition, when a team becomes imbalanced, so if one team ends up with 2 more players than another team does, so like 5v3, 4v2, 3v1, that kind of thing, a switch team button will become available to people on the team with more players. When they die, where there's normally a button that says respawn, there's also a button that will say switch teams, and that'll let someone on the winning team or on the bigger team to switch to the smaller team to balance it. So in between matches, auto balance. During a match, we kind of rely on players to show some sportsmanship to each other and swap back and forth. And we'll continue to improve on that system. We want to eventually add some incentives for players on the winning team to swap. Maybe a little bit of extra experience points or some extra materials, that kind of thing, down the road. But we don't have that ready yet, and we might have that ready for update 2, that kind of thing. Are there still Goldens? I assume you mean Golden Creeps by that. Yep, Golden Creeps are still in there. I think we saw him on this map a few minutes ago. I haven't seen him recently. But Golden Creeps still spawn. This map doesn't have all of its call-outs hooked up yet, so I don't think the Golden Creep text message appeared. In fact, speak of the devil, there's the Golden Spider. So the Titan Factory map has a golden robot. We've got a unique set of creeps depending on the theme of the map. So yep, Golden Spider's still there. Still gives the golden power up, and we're looking at making other periodic power up type monsters like the Golden Creep and adding those to the maps as we go. Let's see here. Sohala says amazing map. Thanks guys. We're really glad you like it. It's definitely, in terms of how it plays, it's already it was our favorite map internally basically from the moment that we finally got the blockout right. And as we get it arted up and as we add it and make it cooler and cooler, it just gets more and more our favorite map. So once this thing is all fully polished and finished, it's gonna be by far the best map that we have. So I show you this. This map is already cool. You think this map is cool, and it is cool. But wait until you see the map we have coming for our 3rd update in July. We've only just gotten started on it. Shane's been working on it's in the blockout stages and getting the core combat spaces and stuff arranged. We haven't done a lot of playtesting of it yet, but it already looks phenomenal. The new sort of, not mechanics, but the new features we've added to the layouts will play very differently than Disaster Zone and Titan Factory and any of the existing maps. So I think you guys will be really happy with what that turns out to be, and we can't wait for you guys to see that. We'll probably start showing you sneak peeks of it at some point during the update 3 time frame.
When is that? Is that a month from now?
More than a month and a half.
Okay.
Update 3 is going to be in July, toward the end of July. So update 2 will be towards the end of June, and then update 3 will be towards the end of July. We'll probably do a similar thing with the upcoming map that we did for this one, where we'll put out a blockout version of it early to let you guys kind of play with it and give us some feedback on it, and then we'll keep it in. Keep polishing it internally and getting all the all the gameplay. Take the feedback that we get from you guys and make adjustments to it, and then continue polishing up the art portion of it internally. and then sort of sneak peek you guys that over the course of the game, or over the course of the update cycle. Let's see here. Enjoying the double XP. I'm glad you're enjoying it, guys. It should be on Twitter and on Facebook. Either you can do either or both. If you do both, you'll be entered twice essentially in the drawing. So do Twitter and do Facebook, and we really appreciate that, you guys. Like I said, links to those are underneath on our Twitch page underneath the video. You click on the Facebook link or click on the Twitter link to get to that and to to follow us and retweet that. We really appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah, Leebarg is Grabe. He's actually playing on Shane's account right now because like we made fun of him for earlier. He didn't download the new version soon enough to get in on this dev test. So be sure to ridicule him for that when you see him online. And he says he loves you, and he does love you. Let's see here. Can you put a game or a GMT time along with the others? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we could totally do that. We're actually trying to figure out too if there's a way we can do a stream time that's more friendly to European players. So we might either move around one of the existing streams, or more likely we'll add a third stream on Mondays that we'll do much earlier in the morning for us, which will be more in sort of the prime time frame for our European players. So we're gonna try to take a look at that, and we'll add GMT time to our stream schedule to make that easier for you guys. I'm sorry about that. Did we answer the skin thing? I'm not sure which skin. I'm not sure what that. I'll have to scroll up see if I can find your question, Gaboon. Let's see here. If that was the art style question, yeah, we answered that. Basically, I think we've got a lot of room yet in our particle effects to make some pretty cool stuff. See, I'm wondering, were there supposed to be structures we can build to increase weapon levels when we respawn? How is Superior Titan mode now? What can max player levels look like in the future? So structures are still planned. I think we're gonna end up delaying those probably till update 3. Originally, we were gonna have a radar array that made a mini-map be one of the primary structures we did, but after some testing, it feels like the mini-map is too strong to be something that you get from a structure. It basically meant that the team that was winning just won even harder because once they had the mini-map and all the structure bonuses, they just started. It made the snowball worse. So we put the structures back to the drawing board a little bit, and we're gonna keep an eye on them. And we'd like the structures to behave more as a comeback mechanism, as a way for teams that are behind to get back into the game and sort of shore up their weaknesses, rather than yet another way for teams that are already ahead to get even more ahead. So they're coming, they're definitely coming, but we just want to make sure that we spend enough time on them and that they're performing the effect that we really want out of it. So Hal, if the stream is lagging, try turning down the quality level. We stream by default at 1080, so that those of you who have a connection that can handle it can have the full glorious quality of the game. But you can feel free to turn the stream quality down to 720 or 480 if that makes it easier for you, or easier for your connection to handle, I should say. Would we share again the double XP? Like I said, there's a tweet and a Facebook post announcing that we were doing the double XP weekend. So just if you guys could share that, and retweet that, then you'll get entered into a contest to win a free copy of the game. You don't need to do that to get the double XP. The double XP is just something that's turned on all weekend. So just play the game and you'll get double the XP. There's nothing you need to do to have that. Let's see. Thought about having knockback or damage from falling wall fragments when Titans break through a defense? Yes, we have. I don't know if we'll do it. We've talked about it, but I don't think that that's something we'll end up. What is going on there?
No idea.
Who's that?
I've never seen a level. Oh crap! I've never seen a level 5 explosive sniper before.
I think it was stuck to him longer than it was supposed to be. I think that particle effect was stuck to him. That looks like a bug. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Anyway, we've thought about knockback or damage on the Titan wall. I don't know if we'll do damage necessarily because we don't want to discourage people from being near the Titans and trying to protect them. Knockback could be cool though to help convey, you know, sort of the force and the impact of the of you know, having had the wall destroyed. 5 p.m. GMT or 6 p.m. GMT. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look and see if we could do something around. I'm gonna write that down even around 5 or 6 GMT. We'll figure out what that translates to in Central Time and see if we can put something together for that. Let's see. I meant any changes latest change your character's skin color. So maybe. We've talked on the stream before about the possibility. We refer to it as block person underwear. Basically, stuff that you could do to customize your block person before you start building armor and before you start adding stuff like that to it. So no time frame on that, but it is something we're thinking about. Whether or not we let you change the skin color, we're not sure because we're still considering using that as a way to convey team. So one of the things that we're toying with internally is having everyone in the enemy team have kind of a reddish tint to their skin, to their block skin, to help convey that they're the enemy, in addition to the red nameplate. And if we did that, then we wouldn't want to let you change the block person's skin color because that would, obviously that would conflict with that team communication goal. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Shane, is your team gonna win this time finally?
Maybe. I thought we won the first time.
Didn't you lose? I thought you've lost all of them so far.
I don't know.
Maybe hey guys, keep track of this.
I'm on both teams right now, so I win no matter what.
Do me a favor, guys, and tell me if Shane won that first one, and keep track of his win-loss record for me, because I want to be able to make fun of him if he's not doing well. Let's see here. Do you hate Teemo?
Yes. Yeah, I hate Teemo.
Shane hates Teemo.
I hate Teemo.
I would not say that I hate Teemo himself. I would say that I hate everything that Teemo represents in the game.
Oh, just
I hate
Heimerdinger. Now Heimerdinger I can get behind.
Heimerdinger I can get behind. I hate stepping on mushrooms. I hate going invisible.
I hate not hitting people.
I hate not hitting people. I hate the stupid freaking sound effects he makes that were obviously designed to be as infuriating as possible.
Yeah.
Like sound he makes as he runs away from you, and like
Yeah.
he's clearly a character that was designed to be infuriating, and I think they were wildly successful at that task. So yeah, I don't hate Teemo so much as hate what he represents, I would say. Let's see. You want to add fall damage and limited ammo. I doubt we'll add fall damage, at least not from the sorts of heights you typically see in. I hadn't seen a black person ragdoll like that before. Did you see that?
I did not. I was too busy shutting my eyes.
Too busy dying? He ragdolled off the bridge like a traditional ragdoll.
Did he? Nice.
And then he hit the ground and he shattered into pieces.
That's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
That was totally on purpose.
Yeah, totally on purpose. That was pretty cool. I actually have never witnessed that happen before. I thought that was awesome. We need to capture that for a trailer.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty badass. Like, oh, there's a quarter in the swear jar.
Maybe that one's only like a dime or
That was
something.
like a dime. That's kind of a come out. Yeah,
that's a tiny one. That's a tiny one.
Well, I think they should start at a quarter. So maybe like the bad ones are $1. Like,
wow.
You drop an F-bomb.
You're up in the stakes, huh?
That should be like $1, I think, if you do something like that. Racial slurs are just like a whole copy of the game. If you ever do that, it's just like bam, $20 in the jar. $20 in the jar immediately. Yeah.
Grabe is going to be so broke. Grabe cannot not swear. He just can't not swear.
Can't not swear. Well, let's see. Are you gonna add, so anyway, probably not on fall damage, at least not, like I said, not from the heights you typically jump around from in minnow. We want it to be more like, a little bit more freeform and jumpy. I guess we'll have to see. Maybe from really high heights we could add a little bit of fall damage. That's not out of character with Unreal and Quake and that kind of stuff. For limited ammo, I don't think so. No. I mean, we have clip sizes, that force you to reload occasionally, but I don't think we really want you to run out of ammo, Although, I guess that could be a way to balance level 5 stuff.
Maybe.
I guess if you could run out of ammo... I suppose we could do ammo, like level-based ammo. That seems really confusing. But, like, maybe level 5 only lasts for a certain number of shots? Or a level only lasts for a certain number of shots? So, like, as you keep collecting the power-ups, you keep refilling the ammo on it or something?
What about swords? What about katanas?
They have sword oil ammo, obviously. sword power, sword
oil.
sword batteries.
Just have to
sword,
oil up my sword
yeah,
right
oil up
now.
your sword batteries. I don't know.
I gotta oil up my Inferno Katana.
Sharpening
I
skills.
have to
Have you played Monster Hunter? In Monster Hunter, you gotta sharpen your sword every once in a while.
That's true, you do.
So the power ups, increase the sharpness of the sword again, so it can be effective. Anyway, that's. So I don't think we probably won't add traditional limited ammo, but there could be some interesting things we could do with that in terms of how we might use that to limit the power of level 5 weapons and that kind of thing. Let's see, can you add a health count, see how much health we have? Yeah, we've talked about that. Let me even make another note of it.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, we've talked about adding, a more traditional health meter above your, where your the lower right where your weapons are and that kind of thing, to help communicate more clearly exactly how much health you have, and also to help communicate like how much health you're gaining from and how much health regen you're getting from armor and that kind of stuff. How much damage an individual attack did to you in a more concrete fashion. Let's see, in terms of weapon balancing, would you say weapons, for example, like grenade launchers, which are less used, need changing since other launchers seem better? So the grenade launcher was really overpowered for a while. We nerfed it pretty hard to get it, more in the realm of something that wasn't completely broken. I think the launcher classes in general still need some adjustments. Even the base plasma launcher is still pretty strong, so I don't know if it's a matter of the grenade launcher not being strong enough. Or if it's more a question of the nice, or if it's more about the other launchers being too strong, which overshadows them. So I think we'll do a combination of them. Actually, while Shane's running around here in the spawn, again, for those of you who are just joining us, we're making some changes to the way the Titan power cells work. So Shane could run back over there. Shane could turn around and run back over there. There we go.
I'm looking at myself, insult myself.
Insult yourself?
Yeah.
You can see that's the new design direction for the power cells. You can see the cool crystal stuff inside of it, and then it's surrounded by some more techie looking technology. Shane, why don't we just walk around the map right now and sort of do a tour? I'll let Shane talk about the different areas of the map and what their goals are for those areas. Shane?
All right. So let's start with the creep nests, I guess. So this is the one of the creep nests. Oh, I'm gonna get killed.
Well, tell him not to kill
TJ's
you.
gonna kill me.
Tell him what's going on.
TJ, watch the stream. TJ.
Type. Just let yourself die and type. Take it like a man. All right.
Okay. So right. So creep nests inside of a building, underneath a building that's been obviously reduced to rubble. Block rubble. You can see like the ceiling collapsed in, and there's all kinds of like ceiling fragments all over the place, and so it's kind of difficult to explain, but this is sort of like nope.
Don't start a fight. Don't start a fight,
nope.
man.
He started it,
no,
not
stop.
me.
Stop it. Be the bigger man. He's gonna stop it. Be the bigger man. All right.
Right. Or that. So so it's kind of hard to explain. It's like let's get that off of the stream. So it's kind of like the reverse of Desert. In Desert, the modern forces were invading the ancient temple. In this one, it's sort of like Payback. The ancient forces are invading the city by reducing it to rubble and bringing up their own temples and emerging from the city like an earthquake. So what's happening in these areas are the crystals are emerging into the base of the buildings, and the creep nests and the spiders follow. I don't know if the spiders are actually part of the ancient culture or if they're just there because of the crystals or whatever.
I feel like they're attracted to the crystals. The spiders
Probably.
are drawn to the energy crystals.
Yeah, they're probably just a result.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the spiders follow the crystals, and that's what you. Unbeknownst to them, they are an excellent power source themselves. And so that's where all these crystals come in for the creep nests. And on the other side, it's pretty similar, but we want to make each area feel different but similar. I didn't start anything.
Tell Grave to stop. Tell Grave to stop killing you.
Ah, I can type, I swear.
$1 in the swear jar.
So that was the ancient side or the modern side?
I think that was the modern side you were just on.
I'm not super familiar with this yet because I've been working on other maps and not the art stuff. So, so in this one you see it's like not as a story, but you see more temple-y stuff in here. If you can make this out, these are like temple stuff emerging from the ground, pushing up into the base. Oh my God, Jeff!
Jeff, stop killing him.
Not gonna happen. There we go. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
So you see, like we're trying to make them feel similar with the crystals, but distinct enough so that you always should know where you're at. We're doing the same thing with, like, you know, on one side we have these train cars that you can walk under that have clearly been destroyed. On the other side, I think it's just like different kind of destruction. Let me go see. Yeah, another thing is like the ramps are different over here. It used to be like blocks you could jump on. Right now we have like one ramp that goes straight up. On the other side it's sort of like a zigzag. And we're trying to put color in the areas differently. So blue for creep nests. I kind of want to show you down here because it looks a lot cooler where the gold spider spawns. But we're missing a wall down here right now. But this looks a lot cooler now. Before it was just like an empty hallway, and now you got, like, you know, these this altar emerging from underneath. So it's pretty cool.
You can see some of the structure of the city coming through the walls as they fall apart.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Right now, I think on the modern side, we're missing an important structure. So yeah, right now it's just like a giant pit, but there's going to be like a giant. In factory, there was, I think, a giant 3D printer thing that printed the walker. We're going to put a pretty massive 3D printer over here. Right now it's just an empty pit that you can't jump into. I don't think you can. I'm not going to try. But that's where the modern is going to spawn, and then the ancient spawns right there in the ancient temple over on the other side.
So there's gonna be like a door that he comes out of, right?
Yeah,
The temple.
yeah. There's gonna be like the doors. Yeah, that's actually what Jim's working on right now. Right now they're just it's kind of a wall, but it's gonna be a pretty cool looking door. That just like slides open or something.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek, although nothing like Star Trek.
Nothing like Star Trek, but
yeah.
slower and ponderous
Yeah.
and stone and.
Yeah, and it's gonna be pretty cool because actually these towers are gonna like take damage as Titans bust through the wall. So the first wall that modern Titan busts through is gonna like send a shock wave and start busting off pieces of that tower, and then the final oh crap, there we go. We gotta get rid of that, man.
I know, we gotta
get rid of that. So then when the modern Titan destroys this, it's gonna destroy this entire temple and it's gonna collapse and everything. At least in theory.
In theory,
and
yeah.
Hypothetically, it's gonna
hypothetically. That's our plans. You know, if we don't get to all of that stuff in time for update 2,
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff we'll continue to add.
It'll probably get out eventually. Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do still.
So yeah, so that's an overview of this map. As you can see, it's come quite a ways from what you guys are playing with right now out on live, and it's gonna come even further in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, I think it'll be something you guys will have a ton of fun playing on. Let's see here. Bet you 100 quid there's a dinosaur hiding up there.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm waiting until all the art is in 100% to put a dinosaur somewhere in the map.
So there will be a dinosaur.
There will be a dinosaur.
You heard it here. There will be a dinosaur.
But
at
it's
least
not in
one.
Yet. Yeah.
It's not there yet, though. Let's see here. Jake says, "Show the awesome skybox." Is there anything particularly we could show? Yeah, if you just kind of look around, you can see the cool.
Can I ghost on this?
I don't think you can. No. Not on a live build.
If I could ghost, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, but you can see the cool skyline. There's some pretty tall buildings stretching up into the sky there. You know, some interesting shapes that are still, you know, but that are still blocky and you know, in the minimum art style. And again, we're going to continue to prove all that stuff.
All those buildings right now have the concrete material on them, which is why they look really gray and they look exactly like the game space, but eventually those are going to have their own materials on them, and they'll look different. It'll actually look more like a city than just concrete blocks.
Right. Yep. I say Rocket will find the Dino. Yep, we know you're gonna find it, Rocket. We have no doubt.
Don't spectator mode.
Yeah, but you're
Find
not
it
allowed to spectate
legitimate.
mode this time.
Don't cheat.
Yeah, that was serious cheats, dude. Like, we want you to find that Dino, and I want it to be you who finds it, but you gotta find it legit.
Yeah.
You gotta find it without spectator ghosting, man. You gotta walk around and find it.
Yep.
That's the rule. Let's see. I'll try to answer some more questions real quick. Other than just dashes and higher jumps, could there be more movement mechanics in the future, like strafing or rolls? Yeah, we've definitely talked about like double tap dodge mechanics and wall jumps and things like that to help liven up some of the movement and improve it. So yeah, I think that will almost certainly happen. Don't have a time frame on it yet though, about exactly when we do that. Let's see here. Question on the gun sets, you can add one for armor. Find it annoying to use different armor parts for different weapons I'm going to use. I'm not sure what you're asking me. Oh, I see what you're saying. Can we add armor sets to your loadout? Yeah. So we've talked about doing like a quick build option, and putting those in your loadout would probably be that's probably where that would go.
I mean, you're probably gonna get a specific loadout for your weapon loadout anyway.
Yeah.
So it would just make sense.
Yeah, and part of that, we've also talked. We haven't done anything with it yet, but we've talked about some changes to the way loadouts work. You know, right now you have 6 different loadouts. You can kind of change them at will. But the way the armor building works, we're trying to direct you toward a particular kind of roles. Like if you build a full tactical suit, you know, for instance, you probably don't want to use the launchers or the swords. You want to stick to using the bullet weapons. So we've been discussing about possibly reducing the number of loadouts that you have available in a game, but letting you pick which ones you want to be available to you, you know, like on map rotation sort of a thing. So that we further reinforce the idea that you're trying to specialize in a particular sort of thing for that round, you know, for that match. We haven't made any specific attempts to adjust that yet, but that's that's a thing that's on our minds. Let's see what else we got here. Is there another dino in Cydio 3? It's the same question. Yeah, there will be a dino at some point. Dino will be there. You'll have to find it. It's not there yet, but it will. Let's see here. Am I too late to see what was in today's patch? So we haven't shown anything about today's patch specifically. We're just showing off the progress we've made on the disaster zone map here, Zamos. So this is the cool arting pass that we're doing that'll come out in the next big update. In terms of what's in today's patch, it's mostly a series of small balance changes and fixes. So we put out the auto balance and team switch capabilities. So now in between rounds, if the teams are uneven in terms of numerically or also in terms of skill, in theory at least, it'll mix the teams around and try to keep them balanced in between rounds. And then during a round, if one team gets numerically superior to the other, a switch teams button will appear right below or above. I think it's above where the respawn button would be after you die. So that way we can try to help keep the teams more balanced. We also put in some major accuracy buffs for the shotguns. So the shotguns they lose hardly any accuracy now when jumping and running. So they're a lot more effective. We did a few small damage nerfs to them as well, just because of that change. But we're going to wait and see how people feel about them with the accuracy change before making any further adjustments. We also put out a new version of the healing katana, which has a new alt fire. So the alt fire in the healing katana now, instead of doing the standard katana dash, it does an area of effect heal. So it'll heal yourself and any nearby teammates, which is pretty strong. Actually, especially against launcher spam teams where you can kind of keep your teammates alive through that AoE damage while you kill them with your rail snipers or your bullet hells or whatever, your shotguns, whatever we're them with. And those were the biggest changes. And then also the other big change was the power level scaling based on Titan respawns. So now, over the course of a match, each time the Titans die and respawn, everyone's default weapon level goes up by 1, up to a cap of 3. So as you can see now, Shane spawned. He's already level 2. That's because this first set of Titans is dead. We're trying to narrow the gap between level 5 weapons and people who've just spawned as the game goes on. So over the course of the game, people's weapons will get more and more powerful, but people are building armor which all has, as of the last patch, now all has inherent defensive boosts just across the board, whether it says so or not on the armor. So people get tankier and stronger, but weapons get more powerful, so time to kill goes up a little bit, and we narrow the gap between someone who's got a level 5 weapon and someone who's got, you know, a level 1 weapon, or someone who just spawned, I guess would be the better way to describe them. Let's see here. Managed to walk around where the dino is on factory. Found a way to get out and over the map. Rocket, you are a master of that kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll be fixing that.
Yeah, that's on our list of things to fix. See, when will missions be functional and new achievements be available? The missions are functional right now. Or they should be functional at least. There might be a couple of them that have problems, but the core missions are or like the bulk of the missions are definitely functional. And then when will new achievements be available? We'll probably have some with update 2, I think, and then we'll roll out more with update 3. We really keep rolling new achievements out, probably all the way through early access. And then we'll put out sort of not one final, but one more significant achievement pass before we exit early access and go, you know, to a full release. See, Narf says, "There's a bug in Major Time Lags that allows you to jump super high." It's known. It's a known bug. We haven't resolved it yet in this patch. Turns out it was a little tougher to resolve than we were hoping. For the same reason that it's difficult to cap your maximum speed. We thought it was going to be easy. Turns out it's kind of difficult because of the way some things were implemented. So we're still working on that. We'll have it ready as soon as we can. But no, it's not fixed in this current patch. I'm more like your Phillips Human Head Studios swear jar tenfold. For everyone to land with free gentleman's code to kill, murder, and decimate Shane and Lee bargain a game while streaming to make my friends rage. I think that would be that's a good strategy actually, and you would be doing a great service to all of the community by causing them to rage so hard that jar is full on the first night they stream.
Good luck.
And bam, just
Good
like
luck.
that. $20, free
Now,
copy a minimum.
I will admit that you could probably get Grabe to rage quit, but you're not gonna get me to rage quit.
No?
That's not gonna happen.
That sounds like a challenge, folks, is what that sounds
It's
like.
not gonna happen.
So maybe a free copy of the game to the first person to get Shane to rage quit also. Maybe we can do that. If you can prove that you got Shane to rage quit, I'll give you a free copy of the game. That's a promise, right there. Let's see here. Can we get an armor set that doesn't actually give you clothes but makes you bigger and makes you orange and makes your character talk about clobbering time? I feel like we'd be
That's dangerous.
yeah, we'd be toeing the line of some pretty serious copyright infringement there. But that's an interesting idea, and you know we'll take it under advisement. Are you gonna add voice chat to the lobbies? Yep. Once we get voice chat in once voice chat is in the game, we'll get it in the player lobbies and stuff as well. So yep, definitely. There's a bug with the dash shotgun where you dash non-stop till you let go of right click. Yep, we've seen that. We're aware of it. It all kind of wraps up. All the bugs, the dash non-stop bug and the fact that speed isn't clamped for different armor combinations yet, and the super jump bug, that they're all kind of manifestations of a similar problem. And so that's the thing that we're working on. And so hopefully all those things will get fixed more or less simultaneously once we get that fixed in there. Just to remind anyone who's just joining us, we're doing a double experience points weekend this weekend, and so you'll play a lot of minimum, get all those experience points. Tell your friends if they haven't joined us yet. It's a good time to buy the game and get in because they'll have that nice early EXP boost to unlock a lot of new cool weapons right off the bat. And furthermore, if you share our post on Facebook about the double XP weekend, or retweet our tweet about the double XP weekend, we will automatically enter you into a contest to win a free copy of the game. And that'll run all weekend. So, once the double XP weekend ends, we'll take a look at everyone who did the share and the retweet, and we'll do a random drawing to award someone a free copy of the game. And if you already own it, you can gift it to your friends on Steam. If you're new to it, great way to grab a copy of the game and join these fine folks in what is a super fun, super frantic shooter. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more of you guys in here. Let's see, for the landmines, can we get a schematic change what they look like? Yeah, possibly. We've already introduced the idea of cosmetic variants for armor and for weapons. So like the retro bullet hell functions identically to the normal bullet hell, but it has a cool retro aesthetic to it. It's a similar thing for the quickfire katana. The quickfire katana behaves the same as the inferno katana, but it's got a cool different look to it. Then you've got things like the retro armor. That's a variation on the berserker armor, and then you have the beta survivor armor. That is a variation on the knight's armor. So yeah, we'll probably add stuff like that for the devices in the future as well. Sohail, that is a good point. It would be difficult for you to complete the retro rifle mission without having the retro rifle. That would be difficult. One thing you could do, if you go to playminimum.com, our website, I'll type it in the chat, but it's also linked in the various spots underneath our video, but I'll type it in chat anyway. Playminimum.com. You guys can enter your referrals to refer friends to the game. And so if you can get up to 10 claimed referrals, or is it 15? No, 15 I think is what you need to get the retro rifle. So if you get all those referrals up there, and you'll be able to get yourself a retro rifle, and you'll be able to finish that mission. So good point. That probably is a bug. We probably shouldn't show you that mission unless you have the retro rifle. But that's the way you could complete it. Get a bunch of referrals in there.
How would they know about the retro rifle if that mission didn't pop up?
That's true.
Now they know about it.
That's true.
Now they can refer friends to get the.
That's a good
rifle.
point. All right, so I'm gonna rephrase that. That wasn't a bug. It was all part of our genius master marketing plan.
Our complete baloney.
That's right. The whole point of the mission there was to let you know about the retro rifle, so that you referred a bunch of friends and got us new players. That's what it was. We're working as intended.
Yep.
How do you know that I shared it on Facebook? You have to actually use the share button on the post. If you use the share button on the post, it tells us, like on the Facebook page, we can keep track of who's done that, so we can tell who's shared the posts. So don't just like make your own post about it. Make sure you actually share our post. That's the way you need to do it, or one of, because we'll probably make more than one post about the double XP weekend. On Facebook and on Twitter, over the course of the weekend. So every time you share one of those posts, you'll get another entry. So if we make four posts over the course of the weekend and you share all 4 of them, you'll have 4 entries in the drawing. It'll give you a better chance to win. So every time you see us post something about that, share it. That'll be an entry in the contest. Let your friends know to share it too, so maybe they can get their free copy. So my name is Norm Nazaroff. I'm the project lead on Minimum. I'm usually the one who does the most of the talking on the dev streams, and then we rotate around my compatriots. Shane's done the last 2 streams. We've had Wempen Tinkerer, also known as TJ, on a bunch of the streams. And we've also had Jeff LaChance, also known as, I think, Jay LaChance, at HH in Minimum. So yeah, we've had a bunch of different people do it, and we'll keep bringing more people through. I think I'm trying to get the Minimum art director, Jim Sumwalt, to come on here too. He plays a lot of Minimum. You guys have definitely seen him in the game, and so he's just, every time we do a stream, he ends up being super busy with some art tasks. So I've never been able to get him in here, but hopefully next week we can get Jim to stream with us. See, any plans to change how everyone wins the same amount of materials regardless of win or loss? Yes. So we do have intention to add win bonuses. Definitely. I mean, I like to think that there's incentive to win simply because like winning is fun, and you've got trophies that you get for winning and things like that. but we definitely do intend to add additional rewards. We have already got some stuff in there for first win of the day and for win bonuses. We just haven't gotten it enabled yet. I mean, one thing we want to make sure is now with this, auto balance and team switching and stuff like that enabled, we want to make sure that that we have, that basically we don't want to disincentivize you from making sure that you, at the end of the day, we want you to have a good, solid, balanced matchup. And so if teams end up imbalanced, we prefer that players are willing and interested in switching to the other team to make sure that the game stays competitive, as opposed to deciding like well, no, I don't want to do that because I'm going to lose some number of experience points or blocks. So we definitely have those things. We're going to add them in. We're just not in a huge hurry to do it until things get a little further along development wise. Let's see. I'm not. Just got my 10 referrals. I'm not sure if I got it in an actual referral fashion. As long as they used your referral link, the one that's on our website that you send to them, then we'll have tracked that. It should show on your referral page how many people have been referred to you. Let's see, each dev should have a Twitter so I can follow you all. I guess we could do that.
I don't Twitter.
Shane doesn't Twitter. He's too cool for Twitter.
I'm not sure.
I mean, most of us do have personal Twitters, so we might be able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll see that. See, how can we still refer people when they won't get a key, or does it just make an account for them? So all the referral stuff does is have them put in their email address so that they can get updates and information about the game. So there's no more beta keys, but the referral still works to get us essentially to get them on our mailing list, so we can let them know when we've added cool new stuff to the game and things like that.
This is not permanent, by the way.
What's that?
If they don't they can sign up for it and then.
And then unsubscribe later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if they decide they don't want to be on there, they can
yeah.
leave it later.
It's not like they're ours forever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the idea of the referral. So we're just trying to get people, more and more people aware of Minimum, and more people to understand that it exists, and then to give us a chance, or to buy it and give us a chance to play it. Let's see. Ben says, "Are you interested in working with another company on a game?" Possibly. I mean, we work with other companies all the time. They were working with Atari on Minimum.
We worked with that company that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, we've worked with
BioShock
Warner Brothers
Infinite.
and stuff. We made, and we did work on BioShock Infinite, and Defiance, and Batman Arkham City Origins and things. So we worked with lots of game companies on various games. So we're always open to that kind of stuff. I don't know if you have something specific in mind. But yeah, we're always interested in collaborating with other talented game studios and publishers. Which link for Facebook do we share? I don't see any XP weekend link. There should be one on our Facebook, on the Play Minimum Facebook page. Make sure you click through to the link from our, because there's an old Facebook page around from the previous game that may not have any posts about this which we're trying to get taken down and gotten rid of, so it's not confusing.
Yeah, it's like a year and a half old thing.
Yeah, basically, if you're on a Minimum page that hasn't been updated in a year, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Go click the link underneath our stream here, and that will take you to the correct one.
I'm pretty sure that's the cause of a lot of people being confused about being free to play, because it says free to play on there.
Yeah.
And it looks official and everything. So.
Yep. So that's the confusion. There's also an incorrect Twitter. Same problem. So we're trying to get that corrected, but it just takes some time to get that stuff worked out. Copyright claims and DMCA takedowns and all that kind of that gross stuff that no one likes to deal with. Holy crap! Does our link go to the wrong one?
Does it?
Holy crap, we are the worst at doing Twitch, apparently. Alright, I'm literally going to fix that as we're talking to each other, because that's ridiculous. Hold on, do we go to the right Twitter at least?
Are
Okay.
we on the right stream?
Are we
Is this
on the right stream?
Are
Are
we
we-
watching someone else play right now?
What game are we playing? Are we accidentally playing Titanfall right now? Are
must
we
be,
playing
man.
minimum? Holy crap! This is. I swear to God that this is a real professional development studio, and that we really make games. I swear
Yeah,
to you.
we are new to Twitch.
Yeah,
really.
we are new to Twitch.
That's true.
We've been making games for a long time. We
But
are
Twitch
new to
is,
Twitch.
Twitch is new to us.
We are new to Twitch and into typing in correct URLs
Yeah.
into Twitch links. Holy crap! All right. I believe I just fixed it. Let me make sure here. Nope, I didn't fix it. Come on, Twitch. Please, Twitch. Please.
Hey, we're actually
right.
ahead right now.
There we go. I think it's fixed now.
It seems like we're coming back, Norm.
Coming back? Okay,
Coming
good.
back.
All right. It's fixed. It's fixed. And I have corrected my shame, and I apologize to everyone who I kept telling to click on the link underneath Twitch, and then it wasn't going to the right place. So if you refresh the page, now it should go to the right place. And I'll just put the link in here because, yeah, let's fix that. Holy crap. Play minimum game. That's the one you
Yeah.
want to be at. Play minimum is the old one that has the incorrect information on it that we're trying to get corrected. Sohail's probably right. We probably should put money in the jar for that as well.
I'm not putting any money in the jar.
No, but I'll put money in the
Yeah.
jar. I'll put $5 in the jar for that because I did the Twitch page, so that's definitely my fault.
That's like $7 in the jar so far.
That's like $7 in the jar so far. Yeah, it's embarrassing. All right. Let's see. Any chance of guest passes to give out to people before the full release? So we would love to do that, but Valve actually, like, Steam doesn't have that capability anymore. So you used to be able to. In fact, it was a huge fiasco doing the free, like the temporary free weekends that we did before we went to early access was like a huge pain in the butt because Valve just doesn't have a system for that anymore. Or at least not for giving out keys for that. I think that there are other ways we might be able to accomplish that. So we're gonna talk to Steam and talk to Valve and see if there are if there is a way for us to get that done. The problem is we may need to be they have particular rules for early access titles. We may actually have problems doing that as an early access game. But we'll definitely talk to Valve and try to figure out if there's a way we can get some like free preview weekends again for new players to have a chance to see that stuff. Let's see. Have you thought about making double axes like Olaf? Yep. Although I think we would say that's gonna be like Ragnar.
yeah.
What the hell was his name?
No, I was thinking of Rengar from League of Legends.
No, I'm trying to think of what's the name.
Ragnar. No, that's Ragnar.
Ragnar, yeah, Ragnar from Rune. Rune was a pretty awesome Viking Arena game that Human had made back in the day, which actually you can get a Rune Classic. It's like an HD re-release. Improved textures, includes all the different expansion packs and stuff that came out on Steam actually.
Yeah.
Rune Classic is on Steam.
I think
so
it's on Good Old Games too. GOG.
probably I think it's on Good
I
Old
think it's
Games
on
and a few
GOG.
other places too. Yeah.
If you don't like DRM.
Yeah, if you don't like DRM, go to Good Old Games, get a DRM free version of it. There's still a small but hardcore group of people who still play multiplayer in that game.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive actually.
Yeah, a lot of people in, I guess unsurprisingly, in Scandinavia and Europe
That makes sense.
who are pretty into it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We still play it at work.
Yeah, we still play it at work. We still do lunchtime Rune sometimes, and although lunchtime minimum has replaced it a little bit, but yeah,
Bit, a lot.
a lot, but definitely still happens there. Ray, are you serious? The stream we gave out on Facebook is not the right Twitch link? Well, that one's not my fault. I didn't do that one. Good lord. All right. Yep, that's the wrong one, isn't it?
Maybe we're going to acquire Play Minimum. And
Holy
it's all
cow.
just a clever plan to
This is just like, yeah, I see that someone corrected it in the comments.
yeah.
Wow. What kind of operation are we running here, guys?
All I do is make levels. That's all I do here.
Holy cow! All right, well we'll get that fixed too. Thank you guys. So see, you guys, not only are you bug testing the game, not only are you helping give us feedback on the game, but you're bug testing our social media presence as well. And for that, we are incredibly grateful. You guys are the best. Let's see, any reveal on new soundtracks and stuff like that? No reveals yet. We are working on some new music for upcoming patches, but nothing to reveal on that just yet. Can you link your LOL King? Absolutely not.
What was the question?
Yes, if I could link my LOL King
Oh,
profile. No.
I'll link it later. Don't worry.
Don't. No.
I'll
don't.
do it.
Don't. It's embarrassing.
That's gonna be like $10 in the swear jar when I do that.
That
Someone
is
is getting a copy. Of minute.
Please don't link my LOL King. I haven't played ranked. Like I literally just started doing my placement matches for season 4. I think on Tuesday I started doing them. So I've got like 2 ranked matches played right now. So please don't share my shame with everyone. Rumon, we're streaming the new map right now, actually, or I should say the updated version of the new map. So we'll do another recap for those of you joining us now. This is the new arted version of the Disaster Zone map. So this thing that Shane's looking at right now is the power cell for the Titan. That's the thing that goes to punch and blow up at the end. This is a representative of the rework of those things. So we're going to be moving similar types of models out to Desert and Titan Factory down the road. But that's just to give you a sneak peek of how they're going to look. If you look up into the skybox, you can see we've got a ton more in the skybox. We've got a lot of smoke and some cool atmospheric fog up there. You can see a lot more detail on the walls, a lot of destruction and broken stuff and debris laying around on the ground. And this is just, like I said, we're about halfway through doing this. You see we've got a lot of really cool destruction up in that ceiling. This is really about further refining some of the cool looks we came up with for Titan Factory, and further refining that and coming up with like what does it look like when Minimum's block world is being actively blown up and destroyed. You see the creep nests are getting a lot cooler. The crystals are kind of growing up out of the ground, and we're getting more of the narrative of the map in place, where you've got some ancient Titan stuff, some temples and some pillars and things like that, invading a more modern space. It's kind of the opposite of Titan Factory, where in Titan Factory you had Desert.
That's why we don't gotta get rid of auto aim. That's why I hate being squished by Titans. I hate it.
And as Shane noted, we'll be eventually getting rid of that sword auto aim because we hate it too, or Shane hates it at least.
There are some people who surprisingly don't hate it. I don't know why.
Oh boy. Yeah, if we streamed like literally the new map, the upcoming map from the July update, that won't happen for quite some time.
Yeah.
Again, sometime in July will be probably the earliest that we'd stream the new map for that. But this is the next iteration of the Disaster Zone map, and we'll stream this again next week, and you guys will see further improvements. We haven't done a color pass on it yet. We're only done a little bit of the detail pass. There's a lot more stuff to put in here coming up soon. Any official posting the updates for Friday's build? A lot of good. It just takes so I have to remember them all. Yeah, that's just we just haven't had a chance. We didn't have the patch notes ready to go yet. It's actually been a super busy morning for me, and I'm usually the one who does the patch notes. So they'll be a little late, but I'll get them up
Yay.
before the end of the workday. Victory.
Jumping for joy.
What stuff do you use for 3D models and animation? We use Maya for animation and
3D Studio Max.
Yeah, 3D Studio Max is what we're doing minimum in.
It really depends on the artist.
Yeah, it depends on the artist and the project.
Shane Bruno uses some archaic old school thing, and
yeah, like soft image maybe, XSI, something like that.
Something like that.
And it depends on the game too. Like minimum's a low poly thing, so we pretty much just do it straight in 3ds Max. But for other games with higher fidelity, we do stuff in Mudbox or ZBrush first, and then we work on. Also, you can see up there it says it was moved to team. That was the auto balance trying to auto balance things out. So it shuffled the teams around to try to get them to be a little more even this time. But yeah, so it depends on the project. Mudbox, ZBrush, 3D Studio Max, Maya is where most of the animating is done, kind of regardless of the project. Let's see. So this game is really processor intensive at the moment. Will that be better in the future? Yeah, we're definitely going to continue to do optimization passes to this as we go. Particularly as we get closer to full release, we'll continue to do more and more optimization. You want to do another walk around, Shane? Just
Sure.
kinda walk around the map for new folks. Let's see. Final auto balance. Yep. Hey Saber, nice to see ya. Nice to see you, Jimmy Dizzle. So Shane's gonna do another walkthrough and talk about the map a little bit for people who are just joining us. So take it away, Shane.
Right. So this spiffy looking thing here is the what's going to be punched at the end of the match if the ancient titan gets all the way here. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that look cool?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
saw it on Paul's machine. Looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass.
The whole place just looks good.
Oh wait, turn around. Wait, what was Jim wearing there?
What is that?
Ooh,
What
wait,
is
what is that,
that?
guys?
Turn around.
What?
What's that? What was
What?
that thing on Jim's head?
Are you guys playing?
Was that new armor that may be coming in an
Ah,
update?
look at
Wait,
him.
glance at him again. Glance at him again, real
Look
quick.
at
Wait,
him.
don't look too long though. Don't look too
What?
long. Like just kind of glance at him a little bit out of the corner of your eye.
Dude.
And let's go back to talking about the map now. That was boring.
Right. So this is the creep nest area. As you can see, it's pretty messed up right now. The ceiling collapsed in, or the floor from above collapsed in. We got all these debris falling down in this creep nest right here. What we're trying to do is make each area. Right now the map is rotated, so there are basically the equivalents on both sides of the map, and we're trying to make them unique but similar. So like this area, you should always know what a creep nest is, right? So we have these giant crystals wherever the creep nests are, so you know you're in a creep nest. But if we go to the other side, it's going to look different, but you should still know you're in a creep nest. So let's just ignore the giant fighting titans. And so now we're into another creep nest. Still some destruction going on, but we got a different thing going on with the temple, the ancient side pushing itself up into the base of the modern building here. So you can see the pillars sticking out. Some more like altar-like things, some stones coming out. And right now, like everything has the concrete texture on it, so that's why it looks the same. All the buildings look the same, all the train cars look the same. That's because of the concrete texture on it, which is going to be changing. So yeah, there's still some work to do on these areas. We still have to clean up the collision. You might have seen me like walk into an invisible wall. There might be like an invisible wall here or something. That's going to be cleaned up. We still have like 2 weeks of work left to go.
Indeed.
Yeah, but we got like some cool fire effects. You can see the heat rippling right there. Some embers and ash coming out.
We've got some cool ash effects. You can kind of see them. They're probably hard to see on the stream.
Yeah,
but
I think we just placed them in right now just to like kind of get a feel for it. Like you can see a little bit here, maybe. It's real faint right now, but it's going to be a lot more noticeable later on.
I don't know. I like it.
I like it too.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very pretty and it's going to get prettier. So I think this will definitely be everyone's favorite map once we finish doing the arting pass on it. See if we got any more. Almost every first shooter game has some sort of reincarnation mechanic as players reach max level. Minimum have something like that in the future. Kind of.
Yeah,
So
looks really good.
we actually are working on like a rank / prestige system. It won't be. It's not going to be exactly like Call of Duty. It's not going to be exactly like Halo's rank system. So it'll be somewhere kind of in between the two. We might have that ready for update 2 for this June's update. I think it's probably on pace to have like the first iteration of it. And we'll continue to add new like stuff to it as we go through. But so probably for update 2 we'll have our first pass on that system in place. Let's see here. Thanks, Saber. Glad you liked the map. Yeah, we're really proud of this one. I think it's gonna be awesome. So the main block we had religion, technology, trains, and dinosaurs. The black people have an immense number of things that you will learn more about reasons why they had them in the future. Oh yeah, and this is the Ancient Titans version of that Titan power cell that you saw earlier.
It will also be punched at the end of the match.
More punching.
Yep. So right now this is the ancient Titan spawner thing. Basically, it's like a giant tower that was like pushed up through the earth right in the middle of the city. And the Titan is going to spawn on the other side of that. Those doors are going to open, and this is going to take damage. If the modern Titan can get through these walls, this is going to start taking damage, and eventually, if the modern Titan gets here, this entire structure is going to collapse into res. Should be pretty cool. That's something we still have to work on, but it's going to be pretty awesome to see this, see the progress you make if you can push your Titan all the way through both walls and get to the end. It's going to be pretty impressive. See that thing blow up.
Yep.
And we don't have the modern version of that yet. Right now, it's just a big empty hole in the ground. Essentially.
Oh, don't look at Jim too long. Hold on. Wait. Wait, hold on.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Where is he?
Okay, he's
Oh, he's
gone.
gone. All right. We're safe.
So right here, there's going to be a giant 3D printer kind of thing, a superstructure. If you remember the where the Walker Titan comes out in Factory, there's going to be basically a superstructure right here that is going to be taking damage if the ancient side can push their Titan all the way to the end. I've seen some like early concepts of that, and it looks really cool. But yeah, right now it's just a hole in the ground. Not as impressive.
Yep. And that's what that kind of energy beam is going to eventually link up to, is that printer.
Yep. It's going to be sort of like a structure repair thing that's like sort of trying to repair the city. So there's going to be like a pretty big explosion if that happens.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. What kind of things would the Steam Workshop add if it became a part of Minimum? Definitely armor and weapon skins. For sure. I don't know what's happening over there right now. Definitely.
So it's a duel, man.
It's a duel.
Samurai.
A samurai duel, apparently.
Shing.
Shing. Definitely like armor and weapon skins and stuff. And we would love to be able to let players make custom maps. That's a lot more challenging.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with that.
Yeah.
But I personally would love to see some of the stuff that people come up with for this. It's
So-
a lot of fun to map for this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So we'll have to kind of play it by ear. I think we'll be able to come up with some sort of a system that'll make that workable, but it's going to take us some time to get that sorted out. Let's see here. If there's lore involved in the minimum viewers, have you guys considered a campaign of sorts? That's a little bit of what we were thinking about for like the dungeon crawl type stuff. Is that we would deliver a little bit more, because this is a little bit more controlled. You know, you're not focusing on winning a game. We could get some more of the soft storytelling elements in there. So I think a lot of that stuff will end up in the dungeon crawl type mode. Let's see. A bit weird that the technology Titan is exactly the same power as the ancient Titan. You know, crystals are very, very multifunctional.
Yep.
Good. See, it's a Titan attempt at saying, "Hey, we can make our own gods. Eat it to religion Titans." That's one potential interpretation of what
was the?
He says, "Is the technological Titan an attempt at saying, hey, we can make our own gods. Eat it to the religious Titans."
Sure.
That is a potential interpretation of that. We're not going to officially endorse anything just yet.
Only thing I will endorse is dinosaurs.
Is dinosaurs?
That's it.
I still want a giant monkey Titan to fight the giant dinosaur.
Giant monkey is pretty cool too. I'm interested in skins. How would one go about making a skin? Obviously, you can't use it, but it sounds cool. I mean, we just use. There's nothing particularly special about making a skin. If you just mean like what kind of tools would you use to make it, we just use 3D Studio Max and things like that. In terms of how would it work for the if we did the Steamworks stuff, it'd be very similar to how you make things for Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike Go right now, where Valve has a clear style guide for what the best practices are, what the proper color palettes are, and poly counts and things like that, and then it would go through the same sort of process where it would go up on the marketplace. Player,
Man, Jim really wants to be on stream right now.
I know, right?
He's following me around.
He's running right at you. I know. People would vote on it to get him starred, to get him up there, and then eventually they would come into the game that way. So the goal would be to use the same basic pipeline that the other ones use. Nothing. What's going on back there, Jeff? Nothing.
It's magic. It's all magic.
Oh,
I think that was it.
All right, well, we're getting ready to wrap up anyway, guys. It's been a pretty solid hour and a half stream. If you guys have any more questions for us before we sign off, feel free to ask them myself or Shane before we end it here. And I want to remind you guys one more time, please go to the correct Facebook and Twitter pages, retweet our tweet about the Double XP weekend, and share our post on Facebook about the Double XP weekend. And feel free to keep doing that to any additional posts and tweets we do over the course of the weekend. Every time you do it to the additional posts and tweets, it'll be one more entry in the contest for you, and whoever we draw at the end of the weekend will receive a free copy of the game. You can use it for yourself. You can give it to a friend. However you want to handle it. But we want to get the word out. You guys have been awesome about helping us to get more exposure for this stuff. And so this is just one more way for us to do it and for us to give you a little bit of a thank you for having it. Let's see, about skins. If teams are going to be shown by color, could that make a grayscale texture or a skin that gives markings without affecting color? Possibly, yeah. We talked about, like, again, jokes about, like, Blockman tattoos and things like that. So I think there's a couple of different ways that we could approach how we could do skins but still maintain the color signaling for teams. Let's see here. When does that map come out? This map will be out in Update 2, so that'll be coming up in about 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks, something like that. It's end of this month is Update 2. So, like I said, this is the arted up version of the Disaster Zone map that's already out there. So we've got a couple of weeks more of work to do on it. We got to do a color pass. We got to do some more detail pass and some more collision passes. So this is a sneak peek of it. We'll show you probably another preview of it next week, so you guys can see how much more progress we've made. And we'll almost certainly be previewing deathmatch mode either next week or the week after. Yeah. Next week is E3, so we'll have to see. Like, it's tough to compete for our stream and compete with the crazy amount of E3 coverage. So, we'll see what what kind of stuff we show next week. But for sure, the week after, we'll be showing you guys deathmatches and some cool new stuff. We love Easter eggs. Yep, they're great. That's why there's dinosaurs. Yep. And things like that. And Happy Man, we're really, really happy that you enjoy the game. And really glad for every player we have and everyone who's on there, everyone who streams us, everyone who who talks to their friends about it, who gives us feedback on the forums. We're hugely thankful and grateful for all of this stuff. And I hope you guys know how important that is for us. Oh, when's the chance for maximization? What's the chance? So that isn't actually out there yet, and eventually it'll be a chance to get like sort of a high quality version, maximized version of, we call it, of the weapon, which will have some additional properties for it. That'll be part of the customization and upgrade system, and XP leveling system for the weapons once we roll it out. So that's not coming just yet. It's probably, I think Update 3 is when we're talking about rolling that kind of stuff out. So it'll be coming in the future. So look forward to it. I forgot how cool the pickup hell looks.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
That's an awesome looking weapon, man.
Yep.
We make some cool weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I took a look at the patch notes I haven't looked at the patch notes for League, but I looked at the Shane and I were looking at the early preview of the Summoner's Rift visual update. That is super sexy, man. Good. Yeah, that's sexy.
I might actually have to not play ARAM now just to
just to see the new. Yeah. Well, the funny thing was I got so I watched the visual update video yesterday, and then I went to play some games, just some games, and I was like, God, suddenly the new map looks or the old map looks terrible. Yeah. It's like it didn't look great before, but it was like whatever. It's League of Legends. It is the map. Like, I was fine with it. But as soon as I saw that pretty polished map, now I'm looking at the one that's out there. I was like, I don't even want to play on this map. Yeah. I kind of feel that way about Disaster Zone now. It's the same thing for us with the visual update for Disaster Zone.
It is a very stark contrast.
Yeah.
It's like I love looking at the stuff that Paul does, but then it's like I have to go back and play
I gotta go back. Like, when I sign on this weekend to play, I'm playing on the old blackout version of Disaster Zone. It's like ugh.
What kind of chump plays on the normal blackout version? Oh right,
gross,
everybody plays.
Everybody does that. We forced you all to do that.
Don't worry, it's coming.
It's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon. Again, guys, thanks for watching our stream. Really appreciate it. We'll be streaming again on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll figure out what PM that is or AM that is GMT, and we'll add that to our overlay for you guys. Thanks a lot, you guys, and again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys again next week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that double XP. Take care, guys.